that kind of wraps up cabin chat. So now we're going to move on to empowerment. And empowerment is definitely one of the most special times during the week. So at the training retreat, we had kind of a sample empowerment ceremony. Um, so I'm going to kind of go through what an empowerment ceremony is and things, and then me and also my brother are going to kind of share our experience and also um, kind of give you a sample of what someone kind of might say during an empowerment ceremony at kind of towards the end of the video. So I'm gonna read this like great little paragraph that I've got in my notes from Kesem. So it says, "What is an empowerment program? The empowerment program at Camp Kesem is a time at camp where we celebrate and empower our campers. During empowerment, we acknowledge that we are all at Camp Kesem for the same reason, and because that we are all family. We are all there for one another, and we are strong and support one another. This is incredibly empowering and reassuring. We talk about our experience with cancer in a positive way that empowers us to go back into the real world with a sense of strength because of the huge community that we have. This is a critical moment at camp where there is an evident difference between normal summer camp and Camp Kesem." So there's kind of multiple ways that empowerment programs have been done, but I'm gonna kind of go over the type of empowerment program that we've done kind of in the past. The structure of empowerment programs are pretty much the same. So usually we start off with an activity that kind of quiets everyone down, kind of gets everyone in the mood. Usually we'll do kind of like a making it rain type thing where we have our director or somebody that's like in the middle of a giant circle with everyone, and they kind of start actions like rubbing your hands, snapping, stomping, whatever. And as they go around the circle, they kind of have different people start doing different actions. It's kind of hard to explain, but it'll make sense at camp. But it kind of gradually has everybody kind of settle down and you kind of listen more. So that's kind of what we start off with, is an activity like that sets the mood for empowerment. Then after that, we'll kind of get to the sharing portion. So you may split off into groups then. It just kind of depends. We will probably get more instruction at camp. So sharing, it's important to know what you should share as a counselor in the empowerment ceremony. So right here I've got kind of some like in my notes, like an appropriate thing for a counselor to share, and then a non-appropriate thing for them to share. So it's really appropriate for you to share how much Camp Kesem has like impacted you in a positive way, how you've changed from the start of camp, kind of a thing. But it's inappropriate for you to share like experiences of depression, suicidal thoughts, self-harm tendencies, things like that definitely aren't appropriate for the empowerment ceremony. A lot of the guidelines that I talked about in cabin chat can also be applied for empowerment. So an appropriate thing, again, how happy you are to know the campers, the fun memories you've had that week, etc. And inappropriate, a really detailed sharing of their own parents' cancer treatment or prognosis. You don't want to get like really detailed into, also it doesn't have to be parent, family member, whatever. You don't want to get really detailed into that type of thing. Appropriate, the fact that they've also had a difficult time, just try to be vague, when they were younger. But Camp Kesem has been a really great opportunity to be around people who understand what they've been through. So that's kind of a similar thing that Tyler and I will share. Double T and I will share. So it's also inappropriate to share any past abuse that you've experienced or witnessed. A lot of common sense comes into play on these things. It's appropriate for you to say that you've had a parent with cancer or who has died from cancer. That's okay. But then also inappropriate past substance abuse, unhealthy tendencies due to experience with a family member with cancer, etc. It's just really important that you, again, stay focused on the campers. Keep a camper-centered attitude. I'll say that like a million times during this video, but it really is true. It's important for you. You can share with your other counselors, maybe before camp starts or at a different time during staff meeting or whatever, your experience with cancer and things, and you can talk with them more about it, but just keep in mind these are kids here, so you just want to be delicate with what you're saying.